We will now hear from Silverio Conte from Italy, and the subject will be using a design-build approach to improve the international ALS research new access in Italy. Silverio, up to you.
Hello, and welcome to our presentation using a design-build approach to improve international ALS research news access in Italy. My name is Silverio Conte. I'm the head of international relations of Associazione, conSLAncio, Onlus. And today I'll be sharing some highlights of our work on behalf of colleagues Andrea Zicchieri and Nicoletta De Rossi. So as we navigate through today's presentation, we'll be in the good company of Artemisia to our right. She is the official conSLAncio ALS Awareness by Sea vessel. We'll first start with a quick biography in what we do, then proceed to our work and how we're improving research news access in Italy using a design-build technique. Then after, proceed to looking at some results before we conclude. conSLAncio was founded by Andrea Zicchieri after his diagnosis with ALS in 2013. He's the first Italian to receive a Daveron after he was approved in Japan. We are a patient-led and all-volunteer Italian ALS association. conSLAncio led a successful advocacy campaign of a Daveron approval in Italy back in 2017. However, as of this summer, the official ruling has changed and it's no longer authorized. conSLAncio has many unique facets, one of which is we are the first Italian ALS association with an office abroad, established in Boston, Massachusetts. The objective of this is to not only help the Italian community with new initiatives, but also add a new dynamic to the international effort to end ALS. Among many benefits of this, it enables us to respond to inquiries in less than a day. We have two primary targets. The first is we work to improve care and assistance for patients and families throughout Italy. The second is we engage with the scientific community to advance studies, while informing the Italian community on the latest happenings on the scientific side worldwide. So in non-English speaking countries, access to the latest research news is a challenging mission for the patient community. Most communications are in English, and that includes many study manuscripts as well. Many people resort to the internet to find answers to their queries, and oftentimes they encounter sources that may be inaccurate, and we can only imagine what problems can arise from that. So to fulfill our mission effectively, we had to integrate a creative approach, and that's using design-build, which is when a single organization completes a project from design to finish. So here's how our design-build approach compares to an ordinary project sequence that many organizations follow. So we can see the ordinary method is a lot longer. Once initial plans are assembled, they can determine that the original plan may not be practical in terms of feasibility, and they may learn that their project may be a lot more expensive than first thought. And so as a project moves forward along the timeline with outsourced groups, it has a high tendency to encounter problems that jeopardize quality, delays, other unforeseen circumstances that at the end take away from the project's main objective. So as a result of that, organizations in the not too distant future have to reapproach initiatives to try again, and that results in time lost, minimal benefits, and the necessity for more funding. So we took into account these elements into our design build methodology. So ours first begins with feedback that we receive from the Italian community. In fact, we invite the patients and anyone interested to join our team, in which they work with our personnel and also with collaborators worldwide, in which they join us as well by sending 1 or 2 representatives. And so what this does is it enables a tremendous teamwork to develop right from the very beginning. And it also allows us to ensure that an initiative is built well the first time, as the same people are doing the work from start to finish. So what this does, it allows us to take on many projects in a short window, and projects aren't launched until all personnel are satisfied. But into the future, it allows us to go back to make minor adjustments without the necessity to start all over again. And that's quite effective. Another critical aspect of our methodology is that we concentrate on a failure analysis and how projects can fail before they do. And preventing that works a long way. And so we're now going to examine some of our results using design build. So the first is Italy's first live international clinical trial database for ALS. It features a comprehensive listing of interventional, biomarker, and completed studies. It features real-time daily study status updates. It connects users to the official registry. It informs them of the current phase, recruitment status, the sponsor, and the sites in or closest to Italy. And it's functional on all devices. But when we prepared our database in early 2019, we spent some time on the failure analysis aspect. A lot of late model databases out there have a tendency to glitch over time. They require a pretty fast internet to load properly, and their complex programming is prone to glitching. So over time, they're not as well functional as first thought. And that becomes a challenging encounter for individuals who may live far away from an urban environment. And so their internet access will be a lot more variable. Our database is still functional even in low speed scenarios. And so that allows it to still be effective and has a very minimal tendency to glitch. We've also launched a caregiver training course series these past few years. In Italy, about 80% of patients are cared for at home, especially in center to southern Italy. Our custom designed courses support all ALS personnel. It's available in different formats, and it's led by Dr. Pierfrancesco Di Massi, who is our medical advisor. And he's an intensive care physician who offers his time 7 days a week to answer questions pertaining to care from the Italian community, which is quite beneficial, and we're most grateful for that. Here's a quick synopsis of the objectives of our training course series. It informs personnel on the latest practices for care and also the latest guidelines. It also it teaches on how to effectively communicate with all personnel involved, and it also teaches individuals on how to best assess a patient by their side. Understanding what's happening by a patient's side and communicating better results to better intervention and long-term effective care. And it also enables the association to learn about the challenges that caregivers and families encounter. And that feedback goes into the curriculum to ensure that all aspects are covered. So it's really quite a powerful course. In 2019, we teamed up with the ALS Untangled group to begin producing ALS Untangled content in Italian for the very first time. As I'm sure many of you are familiar, it's a program that reviews alternative and off-label therapies. Using design build, we've been able to complete just about the first 20 podcasts in less than a year. Each podcast is prepared in close collaboration with the ALS Untangled group to allow the Italian community to best engage with the content, as Italian and English do not translate word for word. We also help the Italian community interact with the ALS Untangled group, which allows them to have questions answered and also to solicit ideas. And the podcasts are really brief interview discussions on a specific ALS Untangled review. And here's how the community is responding to the program in Italian. During a brief period in 2020, when podcasts number 4 through 9 were launched, we saw a 90% increase in listens per day from April to June, which is quite incredible. In June, the Curcumin and AccuScope podcasts were released. And so it shows how popular curcumin is, especially in the Italian community, which is quite interesting. We've also integrated a lot of resources on our digital platforms. Our website is easy to navigate and accessible in many languages. We've put together a guide to Adaverone. In addition to the latest augmentative communication technology information, that's message banking, that was developed by John Costello and his team at Boston Children's Hospital. And the technology allows patients to record their natural voice for use with communication devices. And so John and his collaborators in Italy at the Centro Benedettino Onlus in Milan, and Dr. Anna Erba, prepared very good literature on how the technology works in an easy to understand way. So we're most grateful to them for sharing that with us. In addition, we've prepared a series of newsletters. The first is our own 5 Things to Follow in ALS, which is published once a year and highlights some projects that are expected to furnish major results. We've also partnered with the MND Association to produce their Research Monthly newsletter in Italian, and that's a well-rounded summary of what's happening in the community every month. And we've also teamed up with the ALS Therapy Development Institute in Cambridge, Massachusetts to share their laboratory news. And they do also tremendous work in publishing articles that go over the terminology in the community to help people better understand. And we also share daily research news that we come across on social media. So here's how the design build impact looks on the Italian community at the start. This year, during a 9-month period, we saw about a 96% increase, which is quite significant. We've also seen an increase in educated correspondence within the community, which is nice to see too. So to conclude, the conSLAncio design build approach has proven beneficial in improving research news access in Italy. We were able to put together these resources within a 2-year period. As we've seen, the early data is quite meaningful. We will continue to develop new projects using design build in response to the Italian community's feedback, while also exploring new collaborations to help us achieve our mission. We'd like to give a standing ovation to the extraordinary team of patients, families, caregivers, and volunteers and collaborators worldwide who help us achieve our mission. They really have wonderful, invaluable expertise, and we greatly appreciate them. You're all cordially invited to visit us at the upcoming M&D Symposium. We'll be in poster session B on December 10th. Please stop by. Grazie per la vostra gentile partecipazione. Thank you for your time today. Your questions and feedback are always welcomed. Be well.
Silverio, thank you very much for this presentation. I see that there are already 2 questions from Michael Robinson. I don't know if you can see the chat. Can you see that? I think you are still on mute, Silverio. We can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes, yeah, thank you for having us. Yes, I see there's a question about our live database. Yes, I'd be happy to connect with Michael.
Great, and he suggests that also offline, which makes it easy. You have a one-on-one contact. And granted, it's great to see everybody looking outside their own country, like you are connecting with, for example, David Bedlack and Argentina, looking around. So, of course, people who are living with ALS are interested in everything which is going on around the world. And the ALS Alliance M&D Association, of course, is a big network to use to see if we can connect these knowledges with each other. So a great presentation on that.
Thank you.
Let me see if there are more questions coming in, or if somebody raise their hands. No. So again, thank you very much, Silverio, and good luck with all the work in front of you.
Thank you very much.
It takes, of course, a lot more to get on.